Okay, my name's Jerry Zimmer, and I went into the service in May of 1969. I was a draftee because I ran out of money for college, and got inducted in the Army in May of '69. Went to basic training in Fort Gordon, Georgia, and advanced infantry training in Fort Gordon, Georgia, and then I was sent to Fort Hood, Texas with the 1st Armored Division. And actually, I was very fortunate because, long story short, I ended up taking typing in high school, and I needed clerks, so it was a good deal for me because I was typing reports and so forth. Didn't have to make any formations at Fort Hood, and then next stop was Vietnam, and went over there, and I left on my 21st birthday. Pittsburgh Airport, and flew to Oakland, and I was there for a couple, 3 days, and shipped to Vietnam. Was staged over there, and was assigned to a MACV unit, which is the Military Assistance Command, and actually was in the field with the regular Vietnamese Army. There's usually 3 U.S. GIs that were assigned to each platoon in Arvin, and then I got real lucky, trying to make this as short as possible. Got real lucky. I had a sergeant who was from my neck of the woods in the Pittsburgh area, Sergeant Hanna, and since I was from his area, he said, how would you like to become a Mars operator? For those that aren't familiar with it, that's military affiliate radio system. And my duties were to phone patch phone calls through ham radio for GIs wanting to call home to their loved ones. And I was over there 5 days shy of a year and got sent home. And short and sweet.
So what years were you in Vietnam?
Went over there in February of 1970, and I came home in January of 1971. Got out as quick as I could so I could go back to school and have somebody else pay for it.
And what were your job assignments in Vietnam?
Well, originally when I went, I was infantry for a short period of time, and then, like I stated, I had a sergeant who was from my neck of the woods, and I became a Mars operator.
And what is that again?
That is the military affiliate radio system, and I was at a base camp in Lai Kay, Vietnam, and I was able to phone patch through ham radio phone calls back home from GIs that were over there, to their wives, to their families. It was very exciting most of the time to hear people have good news, but then obviously there were rough times too. I had phone patched people through. They found out their wives were going to divorce them and so forth. And so sometimes it was, it was tough duty to be there and have to hear it. So.
What did you do when you returned?
I got discharged on a Saturday, and the following Monday I went back to work after I got discharged. I was working for a furniture store at that time. Delivering furniture, unpacking new furniture that would come in shipments from the factory, and delivering furniture and so forth and so on, while I continued my education. What's ironic is the state of Pennsylvania, my first day back, from me going into
How
the
did you
service.
stay in touch with your family when you're...
Well, being a Mars operator, I had the convenience of, getting phone calls in between. I had time not putting through calls for everybody else, and a lot of letters. A lot of letters were written back and forth.
Did it take long,
For a letter to get there?
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, it was probably around 2 weeks, somewhere in that neighborhood. And my mother was a great cook, and she could make anything from scratch. And she used to send me brownies and cake. The only problem is with, no matter how you packaged it, by the time you got it, it was infested with insects. But that's okay. We just flipped the insects off, and we still ate it.
What was the food like in Vietnam? Was it?
Beef, roast beef, beef on gravy, beef with whatever, and, you know, SOS as they call it, shit on a shingle pretty much. And we had that pretty much all the time. We were blessed when we were able to eat a hamburger or a hot dog and so forth, but mostly it was chipped beef, ground beef, and that was pretty much it. Hash.
Do you remember any interesting events while on duty?
Oh, there were interesting events all the time. Lyke was also known as Rocket City, so I saw probably, I had more, if you want to call it personal danger, being in base camp rather than in the field, because we were shelled quite a bit. Lyke is known as Rocket City, so rockets came in mostly at night, but Spooky was always up there to take care of us when the sappers would come. So Spooky's an aircraft that has like a Gatling gun mounted in the side, and it had a kill zone that if you were anywhere near it, it was going to get you. So it would just spray bullets down, and I think every 2 inches, I can't remember what the ratio is. Somebody could find out, but it was either one or 2 inches when it would hit the ground, it would hit every 1 or 2 inches of ground. So if you were standing there, you wouldn't be standing there very long.
So did you ever have any near death with those, since it was Rocket City
Yeah, rockets landed around our hooch many times. There was a metal Quonset hut that shells came pretty close a few times. Sometimes while you were sleeping, sometimes when you were awake. And if you were lucky, you made it to the nearest bunker. I was fortunate, I made it to the bunker. Every time.
Was there anything else that you wanted included in the video that you want to talk about?
No, I just appreciate what you're all doing, and make it known. And there's a lot of WW2 guys that they're getting up in age, and they're the greatest generation. And everything we can do for them while they're still on this earth should be done, because they really paid the price for all of us and all of our freedom. Who knows what this world would be like if it wasn't for them.
Well, thank you.
Oh, you're quite welcome, ladies.